Okay, so this is the closest thing I have to Ravenclaw colours, so let's just go with it. Hello guys, my name's John, I'm the Geeky Fanboy, and I thought we're gonna try something a little bit different this time around because recently I was looking at my bookshelf and at all of my favourite books that I really like to read. When the Harry Potter books came up and I was like, oh, I could reread those. And then I saw, oh well, there's also still this thing lying around. And I thought, I have never again touched or read this book at all ever since it came out about 3 years ago. So I thought, why not take a look at it again and remember all the wonderfully awful things that were in this play. Okay, so I'm gonna read this for myself here in my room. I'm sitting at my desk, that's why the angle is a bit different today. Normally I'm filming in that little side room over there. So yeah, I'm gonna read this thing and you're gonna hear some of my reactions as I read it, and oh boy, I'm so looking forward to this because I honestly remember, I'd say most things about this, but I'm pretty sure there are gonna be some things in here where I'm like, oh, I totally forgot about that. Well, I do remember actually liking in this, well, not book, play, was that I liked Scorpius, I think. I didn't like Albus, but I liked Scorpius. I was one of the few people who actually liked adult Harry Potter, and I remember also liking Draco Malfoy a lot more in this than I ever did in the original books. So, let's take a walk. Okay, Act 1, Scene 1. King's Cross. A busy and crowded station full of people trying to go somewhere. Amongst the hustle and bustle, two large cages rattle on top of two laden trolleys. They're being pushed by two boys, James Potter and Albus Potter. Their mother Ginny follows after. A 37-year-old man, Harry, has his daughter Lily on his shoulders. That actually sounds quite cute. Albus looks at his dad and then his mum. All you have to do is walk straight the wall between platforms 9 and 10. That's an exact repetition of what Molly says, isn't it? I kind of like that. I'm so excited. Don't stop and don't be scared. You'll crash into it. That's very important. Let's do a run if you're nervous. That's exactly take this from. That's where the whole nostalgia callback thing starts. I remember that they cash in on a lot of, nostalgia from the Harry Potter movies. Mostly the movies, I think, not so much the books. Act 1, Scene 2, platform 9 3/4, which is covered in thick white steam pouring from the Hogwarts Express. Hang on, let me just punch this. That's just a simple matter of, excuse me if I smell slightly of garlic. He breathes on her face. Lily giggles. What, Ron, why? I remember Ron being a bit of a, well, useless character in this, as far as I remember, but I guess we'll see. Do you think, what if I'm put in Slytherin? And what would be wrong with that? Slytherin's the house of a snake, of dark magic. It's not a house of brave wizards. Albus Severus. You were named after... You know what? For some reason, it sounds even more stupid if he doesn't say the last name. Because then you actually realize that those are his actual names. Strange. Al being worried he'll be sorted into Slytherin. Really? I think almost every kid who did not grow up in the Malfoy-like family worries about being put into Slytherin, since, this is the house where literally all the evil wizard Hitlers came from. Time for some tea. So far it's alright because that's what's actually in the books. This is the literally the ending of the book, so let's see what happens after. Act 1, Scene 3, the Hogwarts Express. Albus and Rose walk along the carriage of the train. The trolley witch approaches. Oh yeah, the trolley witch doesn't... Like, something really ludicrous is gonna happen with her as far as I remember. Al, we need to concentrate. Concentrate on what? On who we choose to be friends with. My mom and dad met your dad in the first Hogwarts Express, So we need to choose now who to be friends with for life. That's quite scary. On the contrary, it's exciting. I'm a Granger Weasley, you're a Potter. Everyone will want to be friends with us. We got the pick of the pick of anyone we want. Wow. That's not a good attitude. The rumour is that my parents couldn't have children and that my grandfather was so desperate for a powerful heir to prevent the end of the Malfoy line that they used a time turner to send my mother back. I didn't realise that this is already where they set up the whole time turner thing and how ridiculous it is. Because if you know the books, you already realise, send the mother back. Like, how far and how many turns do you have to make to do that? You already realise how ridiculous it is. Act 1, Scene 4, transition scene. And now we enter a newer world of time change. And this scene is all about magic. Albus walks swiftly to the front of the stage. Albus Potter. He puts his head on Albus's head, and this time he seems to take longer. Almost like he too is confused. Slytherin! I actually like that he gets put into Slytherin. Are the other kids being unkind? Is that it? Maybe if you tried making a few more friends. Without Hermione and Ron, I wouldn't have survived Hogwarts. I wouldn't have survived at all. But I don't need a Ron and Hermione. I've got a friend, Scorpius, and I know you don't like him, but he's all I need. Look, as long as you're happy, that's all that matters to me. You didn't need to bring me to the station, Dad. Albus picks up his case and makes a hard way. But I wanted to be here. But Albus is gone. And this is where I'm starting to remember that, yeah, Albus was a bit of a whining twat. Draco Malfoy, his robes perfect, his blonde ponytail precisely placed, emerges from within the crowds to be beside Harry. Yes, I also kind of like that Malfoy has a ponytail, because why not? Suits him probably. She's your cousin, Albus. Do you think she'd clap for me? I think she's brilliant. Why though? Why the Scorpions have this unexplained crush on Rose? It makes no sense. And suddenly he's back on platform 9 3/4 with his dad, who's still trying to persuade his son and himself that everything is okay, but they've aged another year. This is such a mood. We can't pretend everything is fine, even though we know nothing's fine. Albus, I've been exchanging hours with Professor McGonagall. She says you're isolating yourself. You're uncooperative in lessons. So what would you like me to do? Magic myself popular, conjure myself into a new house, transfigure myself into a better student? How about a better person? Act 1, Scene 5, Ministry of Magic. Harry's office. Ooh, it's done well. Hermione sits with piles of paper in front of her in Harry's messy office. She's slowly sorting through it all. Harry enters in a rush. He's bleeding from a graze on his cheek. And the time turner itself. Harry reveals the time turner shines out alluringly. Is it genuine? Does it work? It's not just an hour reverser turner. It goes back further. Oh my god, I didn't realise that they're trying to kind of explain this. That, you know, the time turner Hermione had was just an hour reversal time turner, and that they're actually different ones. You know, this is one that can go back further. They did not establish that in Harry Potter, right? They are different types of time turners. They didn't do that, did they? Really don't need to tell me off. Hermione looks at Harry. It's tricky. Do you fancy toffee? Sounds so wrong. You're changing the subject. I truly am. Toffee? Can't. We're off sugar at the moment. You know you can get addicted to that stuff. What can I say? My parents are dentists, so I was bound to rebel at some point. You know what I'm actually seeing now with this scene, because there's this really good analysis, review, video series, I could say, by the one YouTuber. I can't remember his name already, but I love watching that back when I initially read this. And he had this interesting idea that during this scene, when they start talking about toffee and stuff, that he thought Harry and Hermione are having an affair, that this is kind of a code word for sex or something. And I'm actually kind of seeing it now, because now that I'm rereading it, I'm like, are they trying to imply something? It's actually quite interesting. I mean, if you read it like for yourself, you wonder, why the heck is she suddenly talking about toffee and offering it to that. Act 1, Scene 6, Harry and Ginny Potter's house. Albus can't sleep. He's sitting on the top of the stairs. He hears voices below him. We hear Harry's voice before he's revealed. An elderly man in a wheelchair is with him. Amos Diggory. Oh yeah, right. Mr. is a time turner, does it not? The time turners are all destroyed. The reason I'm here with such urgency is I've just heard a rumour, a strong rumour, that Ministry seized an illegal time turner from Theodore Norton and has kept it for investigation. Let me use the time turner. Let me have my son back. There's a long, deadly pause. Harry's finding this extremely difficult. Yeah, me too. How the hell does Amos know about this? Hello. Oh no. Delphi enters the play. Albus jumps a mile as Delphi, a 20-something determined-looking woman, is revealed looking through the stairs at him. Hang on. She's described as 20-something. Doesn't Albus have like a crush on her or something later? How old is he right now? Like 13? 14? What the hell? Delphi. She makes it apart and hesitates. She smiles at Albus. We don't choose who we're related to. Ooh, foreshadowing. Act 1, Scene 7. Harry and Ginny Potter's house. Albus's room. Albus is sitting on the bed as the world goes on outside his door. I also... this is from me. Reveals a small blanket. Ginny looks at it. She sees Harry is trying, and she softly walks away. You're 14 years old now, Albus, and I wanted to give you something which meant something. This is the last thing I had from my mum. The only thing. I was given to the Dursleys, wrapped in it. I thought it had gone forever, and then when your great aunt Petunia died, hidden amongst the possessions, surprisingly, Dudley found this, and he kindly sent it to me, and ever since then, well, any time I've wanted luck, I've found it and just tried to hold it, and I wondered if you wanted to hold it too. Okay, done. Let's hope it brings me luck. I certainly need some. Listen, I've got quite a lot of packing to do, and you undoubtedly have minister work coming out of your ears, so I want you to have the blanket. And do what with it? Fairy wings make sense, Dad. Invisibility cloaks, they also make sense. But this? Really? This is why I hate Albus. Like, come on. Your father just... he's trying. And I get it that you don't like him right now, but come on, he's trying. And he just told you about his past with his abusive family and his parents. And, I mean, this obviously means a lot to him. And Albus is just like, F off, father. I don't need this blanket your dead mother gave you. Come on, this is so unfair. What did you think would happen? We'd hug? I tell you, I'd always loved you? What? What? You know what? I'm done with being made responsible for your unhappiness. At least you've got a dad, because I didn't, okay? And you think that I was unlucky? I don't. You wish me dead. No, I just wish you weren't my dad. Well, there are times I wish you weren't my son. There's a silence. Albus nods. Pause. Harry realises what he said. No, I didn't mean that. Yes, you did. Obviously, just know how to get under my skin. You meant it, Dad. And honestly, I don't blame you. It's a horrible pause. You should probably leave me alone now. Albus, please. Albus picks up the blanket and throws it. It collides with Ron's love potion, which spills all the blanket in the bed, producing a small puff of smoke. No luck or love for me, then. Albus runs out of the room. Harry goes up in. Albus, please. You know what? I actually really like this scene. There were a lot of people who didn't like it and who didn't like Harry in general. That they were like, oh, he would never be such a bad father, or he would never say something like that. But I always thought this was a quite realistic approach to what Harry would be like as a father. Like, obviously he would not be the perfect father. Obviously he would not be. And you have to admit, Albus is being, like I said earlier, a whining twat. And, you know, sometimes as a parent you snap. It's not good when it happens, when you shout at your kids or something. But, you know, I think sometimes it just happens. And he immediately apologises and tries to make good. And I don't know. This is like actually one of the few scenes I do really enjoy as it is. Act 1, Scene 8. Dream. Hut on the Rock. Oh yeah, there were like quite a number of dream scenes, weren't there? Oh well. Do you mean to tell me that this boy knows nothing about anything? I bid you to tell the boy anything more. Tell me what? Edward looked at Uncle Vernon and at young Harry. Harry, you're a wizard. It changed everything. The most famous wizard in the whole world. They changed your wizard, Harry. They had to change. It would have been too obvious. And then right from the back of the room, whispering around everyone, words said with an unmistakable voice, the voice of Voldemort. Harry Potter. So, this dream sequence was totally useless. Like, what was that for? If they wanted to get in the foreshadowing Voldemort voice, couldn't they have just done that between transitions of a scene when it gets dark and they have to change scenery? And you just have a voice in the off saying that? Act 1, Scene 9. Harry and Ginny Potter's house, bedroom. So that's what's upsetting you. The night before Hogwarts is never a good night if you don't want to go. Giving out the blanket. It was a nice try. Went pretty badly wrong from there. I said some things, Ginny. I heard. And you're still talking to me. Because I know that when time is right, you'll say sorry. He said sorry immediately afterwards, but okay. Harry, how long has it been since your skull hurt? Harry turns to Ginny. His face said it all. 22 years. Bum bum bum. Drama. Act 1, Scene 10. The Hogwarts Express. Albus walks quickly along the train. How do you always know about these things and I don't? Apparently he, the wizard they waited, Theodore Nott, I think, had all sorts of artifacts that broke all sorts of laws, including, and this got them all gooey, an illegal time turner, and quite a superior one at that. How does everyone always know about this? Even the kids. Like, what? Then we have to get off a moving train. Anything from the trolley, dears? I think this is when it happens. Is this when it happens? Albus opens a window and makes the climb out. A moving magical train. Pumpkin pasty, cauldron cake. Albus Severus Potter, get that strange look out of your eye. When Amos Diggory asked for the time that my father denied they even existed, he lied to an old man who just wanted his son back, who just loved his son. And he did it because he didn't care. Because he doesn't care. Everyone talks about all the brave things Dad did, but he made some mistakes too. Some big mistakes, in fact. I want to set one of those mistakes right. I want us to save Cedric. I don't know, I never really liked Albus's motivation in this whole play. It's so just almost non-existent. Act 1, Scene 11, the Hogwarts Express. Roof. The wind whistles from all angles and it's a fierce wind at that. Scorpius sees something he doesn't want to see. The water will be an extremely useful backup if our cushioning charm doesn't work. He does know that water still hurts a lot, right? Albus, the trolley witch. You want a snack for the journey? No. Albus, the trolley witch is coming towards us. Oh, this is where shit hits the fan. She picks up a pumpkin pasty, she throws it like a grenade. It explodes. And you won't believe what I can do with my chocolate frogs. Never have I let anyone off this train before they reach their destination. Some have tried. Sirius Black and his cronies, Fred and George Weasley. All have failed because this train, it doesn't like people getting off it. Trolley Witch's hand transfigured into very sharp spikes. She smiled. So please retake your seats for the remainder of the journey. This is so... I don't even know what this is. It's weird. What even is the Trolley Witch? Now, like she's obviously not a ghost. Is she a zombie? Is there a zombie equivalent in the Harry Potter books? What the hell is she? And why is she this thing? It makes no sense and it's so ridiculous. Act 1, Scene 13. St. Oswald's home for old witches and wizards. This is chaos, this is magic, this is St. Oswald's home for old witches and wizards, and it is as wonderful as you might hope. Do you think, I have no idea if this actually comes up because it sounds like a cameo that could happen. Do you think Lockhart at some point gets moved to this place? That at some point he just gets moved to the home for old people? Because, you know, he gets old, but he forgets stuff. I don't know, I like to imagine that he's probably in there. You do understand if you get in Taunton or risk your lives. Ready to put our lives at risk. Are we? I hope you have it in you. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Act 1, Scene 16, Whitehall cellar. Thanks to Delphi's will and preparation work, we're going to take this potion and be transformed. Thus disguised, we will be able to enter the Ministry of Magic. Okay, 2 points. One, is it painful? Very, as I understand it. It tastes like goblin piss, let's not forget that one. Thank you, good to know. Second point, do either of you know what porridge tastes of? Because I've heard it tastes of fish, and if it does, I will just vomit it back up. Fish doesn't agree with me. Never has, never will. Goblin piss. Albus turns into Ron, Scorpius into Harry. To look at each other, there's a silence. Why doesn't Albus turn into Harry? Is it because he doesn't like him? Because otherwise I'd say he should turn into his father, because he would know best, right? Act 1, Scene 18, Ministry of Magic, Corridor. It was my uncle's idea to use the Veritas serum. We slipped it into a visiting ministry official's drink. He told us the time turn had been kept and even told us where. The office of the Minister for Magic herself. Aha, so they just chose this random ministry official and he just knew about the time turn, he just knew about that. Okay, sure. Stand back. Alohomora. He aims one at the door swings open, he grins, delighted. You can just open the door for her office, just like that. Like, she's the Minister for Magic and you can just open that with Alohomora. I don't know. Shouldn't that room be guarded or something? By the way, I think I should say that because I'm noticing that the lighting starts to look different. It's evening and the sun is setting, so lighting is gonna change a bit as we go on, because for some reason I decided to start reading this at 6 or 6:30, so Act 1, Scene 19, Ministry of Magic, Hermione's office. Pulls a book from the shelf and it folds open, and speaks. The first is the fourth, a disappointing mark. You'll find it in Parked, but not in Spark. Okay, a book that talks. A bit weird. It's a riddle, it's given on the riddle. Return the city going through a lake. What have you done? I opened a book, something which has, in all my years on this planet, never been a particularly dangerous activity. The books reach out and grab Albus. He only just eludes their grasp. What was that? She's weaponized our library. This is where the time tunnel will be. Solve the riddle and we'll find it. He pulls the book from the shelf, it comes out, and the noise and the chaos suddenly stop. Scorpius, what's inside that book? I think we should find out, don't you? Scorpius opens the book. In the center of it, a spinning time turner. We found the time turner. I never thought we'd get this far. Mate, now we've got this. The next stop is saving Cedric. Our journey has only just begun. It's almost half killed us. Good. Now this is going to be good. Whispers rise to a roar, and we cut to black. And this is the end of part 1. Well, Act 1. I think actually the first act is okay. Like, it's already starting to get a bit ridiculous, but you know, it's okay so far. And I'm actually liking, like I said, Scorpius a lot. He has some good humour, and Harry and Draco. I mostly like the scenes with the adults a bit more than with the kids so far. Albus is just so annoying. I mean, Delphi is Delphi. We'll see what happens with her later. So I'm gonna read the next act tomorrow when the light is better again. And we're back. Act 2, Scene 1. A dream. Again, privet drive, cupboard under the stairs. He gets out of bed, there's a wet smear down the back of his trousers. Oh no, what have you done? You've wet the bed, again. She pulls back the covers. This is very unacceptable. I'm sorry, I think I was having a nightmare. You disgusting boy. When the animals wet themselves. Animal and disgusting little boys. Why does this remind me of Red Dragon? This should not remind me of something like Red Dragon. That's not helpful. Act 2, Scene 2. Harry in Ginny Potter's house, staircase. Harry wakes in the darkness, breathing deeply. His exhaustion palpable, his fear overwhelming. And I saw Albus in red. He was wearing Dormstrang robes. Dormstrang robes, Harry thinks. Ginny, I think I know where he is. Whoa, foreshadowing, as far as I remember. Act 2, Scene 4, Edge of the Forbidden Forest. Albus and Delphi face each other holding wands. Scorpius appears at the back of the stage. He looks at his friend talking to a girl, and part of him likes it and part of him doesn't. You know, this reminds me that when I initially read this, I always had the idea in the back of my mind that Albus and Scorpius might like each other, but like more than just friends. I don't know, I just always thought the chemistry between them had something going there. I don't know, it just felt like it. And this is the kind of line where I thought, oh, maybe Scorpius has a crush on him or something, or I don't know. Okay, 2 points. The first point was certain the dragon won't kill him. It's always 2 points with him, isn't it? Of course it won't. This is Hogwarts. It won't let damage happen to any of the champions. What? Yeah, sure. Yeah, no harm to any kids. Sure. I'm sorry, Scorpius, we've no time to waste. You've got a time turner, you've got every time to waste. She leans down and gently kisses him on both cheeks. She walks away into the woodland. Albus stares after her. Just to remind you, she's in her 20-somethings and they are teenage boys. Just saying. Act 2, Scene 9, Hogwarts staircase. Albus pursues Harry across the stage. But that doesn't make sense. Albus, whatever you're feigning, it isn't working. I will not change my mind. Dad, you have 2 choices. Either you take me to... No, you're the one with the choice, Albus. You do this, or we get in deeper, much deeper trouble. Do you understand? No, but Albus, whatever gibberish you're talking, you need to stop it. Now. This is your final warning. Albus looks torn between his dad and his friend. I can't, okay? You can't what? Just... We're better off without each other, okay? Scorpius is left looking up after him, heartbroken. The thing is, in this, I get why people are a bit upset with Harry, because he's being, well, quite strict. But the thing is, since the alternative, like, different timeline is already set in, and obviously Ron, for example, is different and not as funny as we usually know him to be, is Harry's strict, harsh reaction normal for him at this point? Or is this already part of, you know, alternate timeline behaviour where everyone's just a bit more strict, you know? That's why it's a bit, I don't know, it's all starting to get confusing. Act 2, Scene 11, Hogwarts defends against the dark arts class. Albus enters the classroom, slightly unsure. Ah, yes, you're finally joining us. Hermione, he looks amazed. Hermione's standing at the front of the lesson. Can I just say, no, you can't. Just keep quiet, Potter, otherwise you'll lose what limited popularity you already have. Now, who can tell me what a Patronus is? No? No one? You really are a most disappointing bunch. That's such a Snape thing to say, isn't it? Hermione smiles a thin smile. She's really quite mean. A Patronus is a magical charm, projection of all your most positive feelings, and take the shape of the animal with whom you share the deepest affinity. It is a gift of light. If you can conjure a Patronus, you can protect yourself against the world, which, in some of our cases, seems like a necessity sooner rather than later. Oh yeah, Patronus charm. My Patronus is a robin, by the way, which I like. I like birds. Now, at the time, I started to really get into Batman, and I thought it was kind of funny that my Patronus is a robin, because I thought, oh no, I'm Robin. I know it's ridiculous, but I thought that was kind of fun. What's your Patronus? Tell me down below. Act 2, Scene 13, Harry and Ginny Potter's house, kitchen. You hear a knock on the door. Safe by the door. She exits. Off the moment, Draco enters, consumed by anger, but hiding it well. I can't stay long. I won't need long. How can I help? I'm not here to antagonize you, but my son is in tears, and I am his father. So I am here to ask you why you would keep apart 2 good friends. What are you implying, Potter? Harry turns and looks Draco dead in the eye. Are you sure? Are you really sure? He's yours, Draco. There's a deadly silence. You take that back. right now. But Harry doesn't take it back, so Draco takes his wand out. You've been practicing, Draco, and you've got sloppy, Potter. Harry manages to get out of the way of his spell. Rictus Sempra! Draco uses a chair to block the blast. Flipendo! Harry is sent twirling through the air. Draco laughs. Keep up, old man. We're the same age, Draco. I wired better. I love this. It's actually some funny dialogue. I don't know. I kind of like the scene. Act 2, Scene 14, Hogwarts, staircase. Scorpius walks unhappily down the staircase. Delphi scurries in from the other side. So, technically, I shouldn't be here. Yeah, you shouldn't be in this play at all. How about that? Albus needs you, Scorpius. That's a wonderful thing. He needs me to do what? That's the thing, isn't it? About friendships. You don't know what he needs. You only know he needs it. Find him, Scorpius. You two, you belong together. You know, if that isn't like relationship talk, I'm telling you, if one of them were a girl, I'm telling you. Act 2, Scene 15, Harry and Ginny Potter's house, the kitchen. Because as much as you might take the word of a haughty centaur, you know the power of friendship. Draco, whatever you may think, I always envied you them, you know. Weasley and Granger. I had Crabbe and Goyle, till lungs who wouldn't know one end of a broomstick from another. You, the three of you shown, you know. You liked each other, you had fun. I envied you those friendships more than anything else. I envy them too. Harry looks at Ginny surprised. I need to protect him. My father thought he was protecting me most of the time. I think you have to make a choice at a certain point. The man you want to be. I tell you that at the time you need a parent or a friend. You've learned to hate your parent, by then you have no friends, then you're all alone. Being alone. That's so hard. I was alone. It sent me to a truly dark place. For a long time. Tom Riddle was also a lonely child. You may not understand that, Harry, but I do. And I think Ginny does too. You know, this is why I like Draco in this play a lot more. You know, because he's grown. He reflects on what he felt at the time, what others did at the time. That's why I like him. Like, he's a proper grown up character development. I like him. Act 2, Scene 16, Hogwarts, Library. Scorpius arrives in the library, he looks left and right, and then he sees Albus, and Albus sees him. Hermione was supposed to go to the ball with Crumb. Do you know why she didn't? Because she had suspicions the two strange Durmstrang boys she met before the first task were somehow involved in the disappearance of Cedric's wand. She believed we, under Victor's orders, cost Cedric the first task. Wow. Without Crumb, Ron never got jealous, and the jealousy was all important, and so Ron and Hermione stayed very good friends, but never fell in love, never got married, never had Rose. Oh, this is interesting. I didn't know that they explained why, that they were involved by some of the things are actually different. I didn't remember that. That's, at least they're trying, but I'm not sure if I like that jealousy was all important in Ron and Hermione's relationship development, because that doesn't sound healthy if the beginning of your relationship or your relationship development in general is based on jealousy. That doesn't sound good. You heard me, Albus. This is bigger than you and your dad. Professor Croker's law of the furthest someone can go back in time without the possibility of serious harm to the traveller or time itself is 5 hours. And we went back years. The smallest moment, the smallest change, it creates ripples, and we created really bad ripples. Rose was never born because of what we did. Rose! Shh! You know, I like that they have like Professor Croker's law and everything that basically just describes the butterfly effect. Like how muggles and wizards have different terms for the same thing. Do they need a different name for everything just because it has to be separated from muggles? Try my life. People look at you because your dad's the famous Harry Potter saviour of the wizarding world. People look at me because they think my dad is Voldemort. Voldemort! Can you even slightly imagine what that's like? Have you ever even tried? No, because you can't see beyond the end of your nose, because you can't see beyond the end of your stupid thing with your dad. He will always be Harry Potter. You know that, right? and you'll always be his son. And I know it's hard and the other kids are awful, but you have to learn to be okay with that because there are worse things, okay? So I'm sorry if I ruined your life because I tell you, you wouldn't have a chance of ruining mine. It was already ruined. You just didn't make it better because you're terrible. The most terrible friend. Yeah, Scorpius calls Albus out on his whining bullshit. I love it. Albus smiles and stretches out a hand. Friends? Always. Always. Reference. Act 2, Scene 20. Trial was a tournament, Lake 1995. And Albus smiles widely and high-fives Scorpius in the water. And Albus points up and Scorpius nods and they start to swim ever upward. And as Cedric ascends, people start to laugh and everything changes. The world becomes darker. The world becomes almost black, in fact. There's a flash and a bang and the time turner ticks to a stop. And we're back in the present. Scorpius suddenly emerges, shooting up through the water. Oh, Dolores Umbridge enters the play. She was in this. Right. Because, of course, you need someone to hate even more than the characters we already have. So, of course, you put Dolores Umbridge in here. And suddenly, from around the auditorium, the feel of a breath of the wind. Some black robes that rise around people, black robes that become black shapes, that become dementors. Flying dementors through the auditorium. These black deadly shapes, these black deadly forces. They're everything to be feared, and they suck the spirit from the room. The wind continues. This is hell. And then right from the back of the room, and whispering around everyone, words said with an unmistakable voice, the voice of Voldemort. Harry Potter. Have you swallowed something funny in there? Become a mudblood without any of us noticing? Harry Potter died over 20 years ago as part of a failed coup in the school. He was one of those Dumbledore terrorists we bravely overthrew at the Battle of Hogwarts. Now come along, I don't know what game you're playing, but you're upsetting the Dementors, entirely ruining Voldemort Day. The pass-the-tongue whispers grow louder and louder, grow monstrously loud, and giant banners with snake symbols up on them descend over the stage. Voldemort Day. We cut to black. And that's the end of Act 2 and the end of Part 1, and, you know, I remember feeling that this feels like very fanficky, and this is just where it kicks in, like, full on, because Voldemort Day? Really? How can you, like, hear or read this and think, yeah, that sounds authentic, Harry Potter, like, this is how it goes down. Okay, so we are at the end of Part 1. It's quite ridiculous, and I know this is like my favourite word to use. It's so ridiculous. The thing is, like I said in the beginning, I enjoy the scenes with the adults a lot more than the scenes with the kids. I don't know why, but I guess they're more likeable. Like, Albus is not a likeable character. Scorpius is fine. Like, I still like him. He's fine, and I think he's got a lot of baggage, you know, with the Malfoy family and all that. But Albus is just, I mean, I get that he has problems and he's upset, but he's just whining so much about everything. But what I also noticed is that this play, I haven't seen it, but given the stage descriptions and directions, it must be so great to watch. Like, I've only seen some pictures and little videos on YouTube from when they did rehearsals or something back when it came out. But this must be so amazing to watch. Like, I would understand that if you watch it on stage, you maybe lean towards forgetting about the story a bit, that you just feel like magic is all around you. I get that, and I'm honestly wondering, with so many of the stage descriptions in here, how would they do this on stage, how this would look? Because I'm honestly wondering, how would they do that? Or I'm thinking, oh, this sounds really cool, like with Dementors flying in at the end of Act 2 now. It must be really cool when you're sitting in the auditorium and then, like, those Dementor figures come down. Like, as a show, this play is probably amazing. Okay, so we're at the end of Part 1, so I'm saying goodbye for now. But when you see me in the next video, I'll probably just, I'll read the next part right away. But, you know, I'm gonna split this into 2 parts because the play is in 2 parts, and otherwise the video gets like super duper long. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this first part. Do tell me what you think of the play, the first part, whatever. Do tell me in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you. Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't done that already. Thanks for watching this first part, and I see you in the second part. Goodbye.